Hi everybody, this is Cindy
and Chris,
and we are the two blooming boomers. Welcome. We have had a number of people asking us and posting that they are fearful of getting old. Chris, before you swallow all that water,
my gin and tonic.
Shh.
You got to cope with old age somehow, you know.
It's not 12 o'clock yet. We've got 5 minutes to go.
12 o'clock somewhere in the world.
What are your feelings, or what have you heard about people's fears?
Yeah, I think it's a very good point, Cindy, because we joke about these things, and I think one should, because I think that helps you cope with some of the challenges of life, as we know. And old age is, I believe, a challenge of life. I have no doubt about it. So the fearfulness, I think it's obviously going to depend on the individual. At the end of the day, some people are generally more fearful, others are not. Some people develop fear as they get older, but maybe we should unpack that.
Yes.
What is the fear of?
Yes, exactly.
There must be a number of them, but off the top of my head, and maybe you could add to this, it's the fear of physical degradation, as it were, physical slowing down.
Yeah.
I find now that if I get up quickly, I'm very cautious not to get up and go.
Yes.
I get up and I stand for a few seconds, just because I know my balance is not what it was.
Yeah.
So I don't want to invite falling down.
Yes, no, for sure. But I mean, there are so many people that are extremely stubborn, and I'll take my aunt as a perfect example. I mean, I took her to the hospital this morning because she doesn't want to get old. She's 95, but the fact is, she is stubborn and in denial that she is not capable anymore of doing things as she used to. And she's got a wheelchair, she's got a walker, she's got a walking stick, and she's got a 3-wheeler, and she still falls in her room, because she in another fear, she fears of judgment, how people are going to judge her because she's old. She has to use tools to get around, and she hurt herself.
The thing, I think this is a very good point. I mean, she's a good example, and we probably, all of our viewers are aware of exactly that thing with older people. For me, there's a kind of a balance there. I mean, partly I admire old people who refuse to use the walker or whatever.
But she's cracked something.
That's the point. It's a balance there between
stupidity and fear.
Well, I know about stupidity.
And pride. Stupidity and pride.
Who was the poet? Dylan Thomas, Irish poet? I think it was, who said, "Do not go gently into that good night." In other words, he was saying, don't allow yourself just to die. And it's the same with old people. Do not go gently into old age, but you've got to balance that.
Be careful.
With the times where you have to know yourself.
Limitations,
Know your limitations. Sometimes push the edge of the envelope a bit, and other times say, okay, like the example I've just given. If I leap out of a chair, I am cautious not to rush off because I think I'll probably fall down. So I like to get things done, to do things. I like to be active, but I am aware of where I need to be careful.
Yeah, especially I found as well with another friend of mine, she's got problems with her knees. And again, walking in the street, walking on cobblestones, she has such fear of falling, but refuses to use something to assist her.
That doesn't really make sense.
It doesn't make sense. It's plain silly.
So, what are we saying with this particular thing? If people are watching us and seriously considering these aspects of aging, I think the one is to have an attitude of, I can be as strong as I am able to be. But there are certain things I probably can't do anymore, and I need to be cautious so that I don't harm myself.
Absolutely.
Because if you have a fall and break a knee or a hip or whatever it is, it's a hell of a business.
It's a hell of a business.
And it's an expensive business.
Yeah, for sure.
Particularly if you're on medical aid,
which
is another fear we'll come back to. So don't be stubborn. Do what you need to do, but at the same time, keep that slightly more feisty approach to life.
Don't let fear overwhelm you, but be cautious.
I think that's a very good point. Don't let fear overwhelm you, but let fear or concern guide you. Exactly. I was going to say exactly that. Don't let fear overwhelm you, but let your own concerns and your own self-awareness guide you so that you don't make silly mistakes that can harm you.
And it's not just the physical side of aging that people fear.
Yes.
It's losing their memory, losing their ability to communicate.
Yes.
It really, I've seen, again, because I go and visit my aunt, I've seen so many of these fogies who have got Alzheimer's. I mean, that's one thing that I must say I fear, of losing my mind.
Absolutely.
I really, I dread for the people around me to have to deal with me. Then I'm bad enough as it is now.
That's true. I didn't want to say anything, Cindy, but as regards your mind, but no, you make a very good point. Is that I think there must be a very valid fear of dementia or the mind slowing down or losing one's memory. But here again, the fear needs to be balanced with reality, because actually, as you get older, you do begin to forget things.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're losing your mind.
What am I doing here again?
But it does mean that things are not as instantly recallable as they once were, and one just has to live with that. But let's look at this. What can be done to help you keep your mind, as it were?
There's various things: crossword puzzles, reading. What's that other one with all the
Sakudo
blocks? Sakudo, yes.
Yeah, Sakudo.
Yeah, I mean, there's all those sort of things to keep you active, keep up to date with the news, learn something new. I'm still learning some new things, and it's just something I do. Maybe it's out of boredom, I don't know, but I read a lot, and that to me keeps my mind active. I try to write a lot of things as well, and to use interesting words that aren't wishy-washy, like, oh, that's good, oh, that's nice. I try to flower them up somewhat, so just for my own brain more than anybody else.
Yeah, so I think that's a really important thing. Again, you're dealing with different characters.
Yes.
Some people love reading, and you're obviously a reader, so am I.
Yes.
I mean, I could not survive
without
books, because I love reading.
And I must have a book. Don't give me a Kindle. Sorry.
Well, again, it's up to the individual.
Each person, yes. But
it's true. I think reading is very important. I think also to look at what it is that you like doing, because if you say, oh well, I don't read, I don't do those Sakudo things, I hate crosswords, whatever it might be, well, there are two options for that. The one is get a grip, just start doing it, and you might find that you like it. The other is to say, well, what do you like?
Yeah.
What do you like that keeps your mind active? Even if
it's walking.
Yeah, but we're
with
talking
somebody and talking.
That's walking and talking. Okay, so that's a good one in terms of keeping your mind active.
That's how this came about.
Yeah.
And I went for a walk, and actually this is how it came about.
That's true.
So,
yeah. That is true. Okay, so we're talking about, there are many aspects to fear in aging. One of them is about the human body. One of them is about the risk of falling or feeling that you don't have the same physical strength you had. Well, this is a reality, so one has to be aware of it, but not make it the thing that you sit in your chair all day.
Yeah, takes over your life.
Too scared to do anything. It's to be cautious, to know what your limits are. But from a physical point of view, you must be doing things to keep your body going.
Yeah.
You must be doing things to keep as active as you can. Walking, getting in the garden, if you've got a garden, doing the things that you can do. I set an alarm, which is to go
you didn't.
which is to go off at 9 minutes or something, and that is what's ringing at the moment.
Apparently, you've had your fill of us today, according to Chris.
Well, no, not only me. We're trying to keep these short. We want to say something. We really want to engage in discussion. We'd love to get comments from you on this whole thing of aging, and we're going to pick this up next time.
Absolutely.
We talking a little bit more about fear. The fear component of aging, and if that noise doesn't stop, I'm going to kill somebody. Is that it?
That's it. Cheers, people.
Bye bye. Lovely to see you. See you next time.